Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. Yes, I am Wendy Y. Bailey, and I'm excited to be here with you. As a reminder, I'm broadcasting live on my Facebook profile, my Facebook page, two Facebook groups, LinkedIn, and two YouTube channels. So if you're catching me live, be sure that you say hello and let me know that you are here and you are watching with me. You are tuned in to what I'm here to talk about today. And, if you're catching the replay, be sure that you let me know that you are watching the replay by using hashtag replay. And if you have questions, you can ask your questions as well. By way of introduction, let me just tell you that I'm a master business and sales coach. People know me as your income acceleration mentor because I show my coaches who are typically at or near six-figure coaches who are ready to grow and scale your coaching business. So I work with my clients in three specific areas. The first is a business, so infrastructure, processes, systems. We also talk about automation and application. Hello, if you're here, be sure that you let me know you're here. I see people are popping on. The second area is marketing. So, whatever you do to get seen, known, and heard in the marketplace, it's all about strategy and implementation. And then what I call sales conversations that convert to cash. You may also view them as profitable sales conversations. So those are the three key areas that I serve my clients in. And I love the work that I do because my clients see such bottom line impact and it's so favorable for what they're doing in the marketplace. So today's topic, let me make sure I get it right. Today's topic is all about, where are you? What you must know. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to find it in just a second. How to work smarter and earn more in your six-figure coaching business. That's the topic for today. And I'm excited to talk about this topic like I'm always excited to do this because it's part of a series that I'm doing. And if you missed anything, just go back, scroll up from where you are on whatever platform you're on, and you'll be able to see the past episodes. I've talked about anything from group coaching I talked about yesterday. Last week, I talked about, secrets of scaling your coaching business. This is a series, and the series is designed to really give you a glimpse into what it's like to be part of training with me. I go much deeper when we are working in training, and I have an upcoming masterclass series that I'd love for you to join me for. It's called Coach Elevation Blueprint, and you can get the details and sign up at elevatewithwendy.com. The link is right here on the screen so you can see it there. So when I started thinking about today and I started really sort of paring down what I wanted to say, because there's a lot that you can say about working smarter and earning more, right? Those are the two pieces that I wanted to really zero in on. But the thing that I want to start with is my formula. It's a formula that I really believe clarifies sort of the path, the road to growth and scaling in your coaching business. And that is productivity plus profitability equals sustainability. Productivity plus profitability equals sustainability. So when you understand those three pieces, then we can get deeper into some things. Let's talk a little bit about productivity, for example. When I talk about productivity, the big thing I want you guys to understand is busy isn't better. It's not better for you to be busy. Busy does not mean that you are really gaining traction in the important areas of your business. That's why busy isn't better. You've got to make sure that you're focused on the right activities that are going to help you gain financial traction. My clients, people who have been around me for a while, know that I always talk about income producing activities. The story I like to share is I had a client and I was working with her, and she said, "Oh, I've got 7 calls tomorrow." And I was like, "Well, okay, tell me about your calls." And every single one of the calls were somebody trying to sell her something, not sales calls where she was talking specifically with clients who may be interested in hiring her. So when I talk about busy not being better, that's really what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not enough for you to have all of these to dos and all of these appointments on your calendar. You've got to make sure that they are productive, they are profitable, and they're going to produce income for you. If you've got activities that you're working on that are not income producing, then you need to start a list so that you know what you're going to delegate to someone else on your team. If you don't have a team, it's a great place to start the list. When you start the list, you write down everything that you're doing and the things that you are not the best person for. I'm going to say more about that in just a minute. But you write down, who's the best person? What's the skill set that I need for this particular task or activity? And sometimes that's not you. Okay. You can't be chief of everything, right? You can't be CEO, chief everything officer. That means you're doing everything in your business. It means that you've got, 8 hands and you're just juggling and doing all of that. I've been there. Okay. More than once in more than 20 years, I've been there. The thing that I want you to know is busy isn't better. So focus on income producing activities specifically. When I talk about income producing activities, one of the guidelines that I give is if it is time that you're spending that's going to yield income, then it is an income producing activity. But there are a lot of non income producing activities that we fall into. And one of those is posting on social media. Yeah, ultimately, you're getting exposure that may lead to business for you. However, you're not the best person for that. And that is not a forward facing income producing activity. So it's something you need to delegate. Surfing the internet. If you're online and you're clicking at your emails, if you are looking on YouTube, if you're watching videos that are just for pleasure, I like watching reels. I love watching babies. I love watching animals. But I know that is not an income producing activity for me. So I reserve watching reels till later in the day when I'm winding down from my day. Then I can watch as much reels as I want to do that. But if you're doing that during your day, then you are participating in a non income producing activity. Okay. There's so many more, but I wanted to give you just a glimpse into where you may be spending your time. I mentioned emails. Make sure that you're not responding to every email that comes in. Set aside time in the morning, in the afternoon for when you are reviewing emails, right? So that way you are focused on income producing activities during the course of your day. Now, let me say this to those of you who work full time and your coaching business is your side hustle. You've got to, whenever you're looking at traction and really doing something that's going to benefit your business, you need to put it on the calendar. Bottom line, whether you're working full time or whether you are in your business full time, you still need to put it on the calendar. And what you want to do is create blocks of time where if you want to spend 10 hours a week on your coaching business, then you block out time for that. Then you know where you can build around that, or where you can reschedule things that you need to. It also keeps people from scheduling time on your calendar because you block that time to work on your business. Okay. And let me say this about the blocks. If you've got a project, let's say you're working on, and you're spending more than 20 minutes, those are the blocks that you want to have. But if you're spending more than 20 minutes on something, it's a project, right? So you need to allocate your time in those 20-minute blocks for that project so that you're not, spinning your wheels doing too much or blocking out a chunk of time when you really only need 20 minutes, or you need more time and you've only allotted 20 minutes. And honor the things that are on your calendar. And I got to tell you, in transparency, I have difficulty sometimes honoring the things on my calendar. Not appointments necessarily, but if I blocked out time for certain things on my calendar, sometimes depending on what's happening with me in the course of the day, I might just move that to another day. And it may be cheating a little, but I'm honest with myself about how I'm feeling on a particular day. And if I don't feel like I can complete something in a particular time window, then it makes sense for me to push it to another day or another time. So think about how you manage your calendar. And when you think about how you manage your calendar, then it really is committing you to what you say you want in the way of financial traction, income acceleration, working with more clients, having more sales, administering more programs. All of that is about traction and not about busy. Okay. Not about busy. The last story I want to share is when a couple of years ago, and every so often I'll pick up the phone and I'll call people who are on my list or former clients. And I reached out to a client and I said, "Oh, so what are you working on these days?" And she said, "Oh, I've got this webinar that I've been working on." And I was like, "Okay, great. Tell me about it." She told me about it. And I said, "So how long are you going to be working on this webinar?" And she said, "Oh, I don't know. I've been working on it now for about 3 months." And I thought, wow, you've been working on a webinar for 3 months. So let me tell you what I told her and what I tell all of my clients. If you are building content to promote your programs or for your programs, I think that's great for you to do it, but you need to sell it and focus on selling it before you finish it. The phrase that I'm known for is build the plane as you fly it. When you build the plane as you fly it, it means that you understand that I don't need to have the whole plane in order to take flight. Let me put it into real terms and take it out of the metaphor. If you build the program all the way out before you sell it, then you've wasted time before you know there are people that are going to enroll in the program. You've wasted time in building out all of the things. You're smart in what you do, you're capable, you know what your content is. So focus on creating a shell outline of your program. Then you can go back and build out the program as people start the program. Go sell the program, enroll people into working with you. Then you can build out the program. You can flesh it out. You can put all the bells and whistles. You can make sure you have, all the meat on the bones, so to speak. But don't spend all of that time up front be, before you know people are going to be part of that. So, hello, thank you so much, Facebook user saying agreed. You've got to make sure that your time is a well oiled machine. That's really what I'm talking about when I talk about, earning more and working smarter. Okay, those are the two pieces I gave you. I told you that you may not, the next thing I want to say is you may not be the best person to do the to-dos you have on your list. And here's what I mean. I'm a tech head, like I know how to do a lot of stuff in the back end of my website and online and all that kind of stuff. But I will tell you that even though I know that, I always know I'm not the best person for that. There's somebody else who knows more than me. There are people on my team that know more than I do. And so I always want to ask myself, am I the right person to do this job? And if you're by yourself right now, it's okay. Start to make a list of those things that you do that you know need to be done in your business. One of the things I do, here's my phone. I don't know if you can see it yet. You can see my phone. One of the things that I do is I keep a note open for to-dos. When I think of something, I go to my to-do list and I add it to my to-do list. And every so often, I prioritize that list, right? And when I prioritize that list, I'm saying what needs to happen most urgently? What do I need done to completion right away? What has the greater sense of urgency for completion? When I do that, it helps me to rank my to dos. Then, when I rank and I prioritize them, I know exactly who I'm going to get to do it, right? Like one of the things on my list is I have to write the show notes for a couple of other guest episodes of the web TV show and audio podcast. This is an episode of that, and get it to my video editor. So I reached out to him and said, I know that we're behind. So tell me what I've got to do to get us caught up. And he was like, here's what you got to do. Let me tell you what you got to do. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So I know that on my list, nobody else can do it. I can't delegate it to somebody else. I've got to go through and create the editing notes so that he can edit videos. And, I know that I've got to do that so that he can have a video ready to be posted on Friday, because this is a weekday show, Monday through Friday. And Friday's episode is a guest episode, right? When you think about the things on your list and how you prioritize them, that's going to help you decide who on your team you need to engage to get something done. I was working with a client earlier last year. I almost said earlier this year, but earlier last year. And she was like, oh, I need a VA. I need a VA. And I was like, okay, so tell me what you want your VA to do. And she started naming stuff. The work that we were doing together, the coaching that we were working on was her identifying organizations, affinity groups that she could talk to and connect with. And so that was a high priority item for her. And I was like, but that's not a task for a VA. You need a marketing research assistant. And so knowing what you want someone to do will help you prioritize and identify um, how they can help you and who you need to actually complete that task. VAs don't do all things. As much as some of them will want you to believe they can do almost everything, you need a specific set of skills. And the reason I know this is because in more than 20 years, I have had a number of different VAs. I've had online business managers. I've had project managers. You've got to know what task you want to hand off to them and the priority of those tasks, so you know exactly how to hire for that. And let me talk a little bit about hiring for that. Hiring for someone to come into your business to work on your team does not necessarily mean they become an employee, right? You can contract so many hours or by project to bring someone in to do particular work for you. So keep in mind that when you are feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I just have too much to do, there are options available. And options mean that you don't have to stay in overwhelm. You can reach out, you can find someone. There are offshore, very highly qualified offshore resources that you can engage in. I saw somebody posted $5 an hour. Now, I don't know if I would feel comfortable paying $5 an hour, but $15 an hour with skills, I've had that before and it's been really, really well. I actually got a referral from a colleague. Her online business manager, because of the pandemic, had stopped doing her hourly packages, and she was just doing $15 an hour. And I worked with her for about 9 months. It was just amazing. $15 an hour. I knew exactly, how her time was running. She was bringing in team members to do certain things. So don't feel like because you're overwhelmed, that means you can't go get somebody. There's plenty of talented, qualified resources that you can access to help you. But let's get back for just a second to prioritizing your list. When you know what you've got to get done in your business, you don't have to rack your brain, right, to try to get things done. Make a list, prioritize it, then identify how you're going to hire for that position, whether it's going to be a contract person, how you're going to fund that, all of that kind of stuff works. Nadia, thank you so much for note is a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, it's so important because I'm telling you, I can be, sitting watching television and a brainstorm will come to me. And when that brainstorm comes to me, I go to my note and I, add whatever it is. And, when you get to a certain age, I don't, know if you're in this space, but you got to put stuff down because you'll forget it. If you don't put it down, if you don't capture it somewhere, it's gone. like, gone like forever. So you want to have a place to capture that. Yes, delegation is a skill in itself. What I hope I gave you was a strategy for delegation. Make that list, prioritize it, go look at it regularly, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, even, and prioritize at least once a day. The more you spend time reviewing and prioritizing that list, the better off you're going to be when it comes to knowing what resources you need to bring in to support you. Yeah, Nadia says you can share some things with me about VAs. Thank you. You said, yes, I know what you mean. What's not written is not recorded. Yeah, it can fly completely out of your head for sure. So thank you for that, Nadia. The last thing I want to say is I talked about the calendar and I talked about, blocks and all of that kind of stuff. I told you that if it takes you more than 20 minutes, that's a bona fide block, then it's a project and you need to plan on your calendar those 20-minute blocks to get that project completed. You also want to identify who's going to help you if you need help with a specific project. Like I talked about the video editor, I already know he's waiting on me. I already know the timeline that I've got to get stuff to him. So you need to be in communication with team members. And he's a contract person. I don't have a full-time video editor, but I definitely see him as part of my team. He's a video editor and he's also a graphic designer, but I have another graphic designer as well. So you need to think of your team in a broader sense, right? When you think of your team in a broader sense, then you can begin to delegate in ways that help you to be productive and profitable at the same time. Now, here's the last thing I want to talk about because this is going to step on some toes and I already know it and I'm okay with it. When you want to work smarter and earn more in your six-figure coaching business, it means that you must charge at the right level. Your fees must reflect that you have a desire to, continue to improve on your income, continue to earn more from your coaching business, right? When you charge more, it creates a greater sense of freedom. Systems and processes also create freedom for you, but charging at a level that makes sense really helps you to be compensated and to create the kind of freedom you want. So let me say this. This is part of a program that I teach called Predictable Coaching Income. But let me say this. Y'all stop saying I need to coach and earn what I'm worth. It's not about your worth. Your worth is priceless. You are amazing and wonderful. So it's not about your worth. It's about what you put into the marketplace, how you serve your clients. That's about this teeny weeny little 5-letter word called value. When you put value by pouring into your clients, by coaching those in the community and in the marketplace, you deserve to be compensated for that value that you're creating, right? One of the things I always hear is, when do you know when to stop doing everything for free? Well, when you recognize that what you're doing has value, then free doesn't come into the picture, right? You know it's time for you to assign a value to that and a fee associated with that value. When you understand fees and values and you're being deserving of being compensated for what you offer, it makes a difference in your bottom line. It makes a difference in the kind of freedom that you're creating. I've hit six figures 3 times in my business, lost it all twice. And the third time I hit six figures, it was because I did exactly what I'm telling you now. I increased my fees, I changed my packages. And when I did that, I was compensated at a higher level and I hit six figures. What I want you to know is your fees are directly tied to the kind of freedom that you create, the kind of freedom you design for your business, so that you're not working so hard in your business. You're now able to delegate and work on your business with the right team in place. And your ability to set fees that represent the kind of value you're providing in the marketplace also lends itself to freedom for you. It lends you itself to you being able to bring in help and support for what you're doing in the marketplace, for how you're coaching and serving your clients, the kind of service that you want to offer your clients and provide to your clients. It has to be, your fees have to represent the value that you're putting out there. And let me give you a quick personal story. I usually try to give personal stories because I want to make sure that I get it. You know what I mean? On a very transparent level, I really do understand where you might be, struggling in these areas. Um, when you are looking at how you're showing up in your business, I'm one of those people that I give. And I had to learn that there's a point that I give, but there's more that I can give you. I tell people all the time, I want folks saying, wow, if Wendy White did this for free, what's she going to give me when I actually invest in working with her as my coach? That for me says volumes, right? It doesn't mean I'm withholding. It doesn't mean that, the value is light in what I offer for free. It means that, I'm going to give you so much more. We're going to do such a deeper dive when we actually are working together as client and coach. And that's kind of how I want you really thinking about this notion of setting your fees. It doesn't mean that just arbitrarily come up with some number. In my predictable coaching income masterclass, not, promoting it right now, but one of the things we do is we look at value. And I have a proprietary formula that I have people walk through to assess value. Then they know what it means. You've got to understand the impact of what you're offering in the way of coaching in the marketplace. It just makes a world of difference when you do. So that's what I wanted to share today. Yeah, I talked about pricing. The last thing I want to say about setting your fees is mindset is everything. It's my personal mantra. It's what I believe that you must understand when it comes to looking at your fees in a productive way and making sure they represent the value that you're providing in your coaching programs, right? Mindset is everything. Mindset is everything when you set the fees, how you structure your program. Mindset is everything based, that determines who you attract to your programs. Mindset is everything when you want to collaborate or partner with someone on your programs. Mindset is everything if you want to increase your fees incrementally. Mindset is everything. Robin Sharma, who's one of my digital mentors, he's a leadership coach and mentor. He says, if you want to raise your fees, invest in personal development. He's saying the same thing I'm saying. Mindset is everything. Fuel your mindset with things that remind you of your greatness, things that remind you of the value you're giving your clients each and every day. So, as a reminder, if you're catching me on the replay, yes, Nadia, self esteem, confidence, self awareness, all of that. If you're catching me on the replay, be sure that you type hashtag replay, leave your questions and comments. Thank you guys for tuning in live. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be talking about, let me go back to it, what you need in your coaching toolbox to create multiple six-figure success. What you need in your coaching toolbox to create multiple six-figure success. It's going to be a grand time. I hope you'll join me. Thanks so much for being here. Be sure to write your questions, and I'll go back through all the platforms and respond to your questions. Thanks, Nadia, for being live. I know there were some others. I didn't see the names, but thank you guys for tuning in as well. See you tomorrow.